Singer Bob Marley, his reggae music known far beyond its roots in Jamaica, died in a Miami hospital today after a long battle against cancer.
It's no secret that Bob Marley's influence expanded beyond music.
The high yellow moon won't come out to play.
As a symbol of identity and struggle. Let's dive into his humble beginnings and untimely demise as we investigate the man behind the legend of reggae.
Is God creator and I don't want no life, no obligation.
Chronicling the path of an icon whose music inspires and unifies.
Yeah, we can make it work. We just can make it work.
Bob Marley's life is a tribute to the continuing power of his tunes, from the northern embrace of St. Anne's to the global stage.
There was something in this thing. There is something in it.
Early life. On February 6, 1945, in the little community of 9 Mile, Jamaica, a legend was born. Robert Nesta Marley. Norval Sinclair Marley and Cedella Malcolm were his parents. He had an unusual family history, claiming English and Syrian Jewish ancestors. He even claimed to be a Royal Marines captain. He worked as a plantation overseer when he married Cedella, who was only 18 and Afro-Jamaica at the time. Bob Marley's birth name has a unique twist. Robert Marley, some suggest. Nesta sounded like a girl's name. Thus, a Jamaican passport official jumbled up his first and middle names when he was a boy. Consider yourself Nesta Marley.
Is God creator and I don't want no life, no obligation.
Growing up was difficult for young Bob. In St. Anne, he attended Stepney Primary and Junior High School. However, when he was only 10 years old, his father Norval passed away due to a heart attack at the age of 70. Cedella, his mother, later married Edward Booker, a civil servant from the United States. This introduced Bob to two half-brothers, Richard and Anthony. Bob's musical adventure began with a childhood friend named Neville Livingston, who went on to become Bunny Wailer. Back in 9 Mile, they used to play music together, and the seeds of their musical partnership were planted during their time at Stepney Primary and Junior High School. Bob and his mother moved to Trenchtown, Kingston, when he was 12 years old. Bunny Wailer's father, Thaddeus Livingston, and Bob's mother had a daughter named Claudette Pearl, making her Bob and Bunny's younger sister.
The high yellow moon won't come out to play.
Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer's musical excursions got even more fascinating while living in the same house in Trenchtown. They were introduced to the world of ska music and were exposed to the most recent R&B melodies from the United States, owing to radio stations that reached Jamaica. This was a period of musical development for them. A vocal group was founded by Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh. They were known as the Teenagers, the Wailing Rude Boys, and the Wailing Wailers. They eventually settled on just the Wailers. They didn't play any instruments at first, instead focusing on vocal harmony. Joe Higgs, a member of the popular vocal duo Higgs and Wilson, resided nearby and was instrumental in encouraging and teaching Marley and the others. Recognizing their promise, Higgs assisted them in developing their vocal harmonies and even began teaching Marley how to play the guitar. The Wailers' journey had only just begun, and they had no idea that this partnership would pave the way for Bob Marley to become a global phenomenon. It all began in the back alleys of 9 Mile in Trenchtown, where the foundations of Bob Marley's music and message were laid brick by brick.
All I know about is Rastafari, and try bringing this truth to the people.
Island Records. Bob Marley went into Federal Studios in Jamaica in the early 1962 and recorded 4 songs: Judge Not, One Cup of Coffee, Do You Still Love Me, and Terror. Leslie Kong, a local music producer, was in charge of the production. 3 of these songs were published to the public via Beverly's label, and One Cup of Coffee was released under the name Bobby Martell. Bob Marley found himself in the company of other youthful stars as the years passed. In 1963, he formed a band named The Teenagers with Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, Junior Braithwaite, Beverly Kelso, and Cherry Smith. However, the name didn't last long. They renamed themselves the Wailing Rude Boys, then the Wailing Wailers. When record producer Coxsone Dodd spotted them, they became known as the Wailers, and they eventually settled on the name The Wailers. In February 1964, their single Simmer Down stormed the Jamaican music industry, reaching #1 and selling over 70,000 copies. The Wailers became a regular at Studio One, where they worked with prominent Jamaican artists such as Ernest Ranglin, keyboardist Jackie Mittoo, and saxophone Roland Alfonso. But by 1966, things had changed. Braithwaite, Kelso, and Smith quit the Wailers, leaving only Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh as the core trio. Bob Marley achieved a significant stride forward in his musical career in 1972. In London, he obtained a deal with CBS Records and embarked on a tour with Johnny Nash, a soul singer. The Wailers, Bob Marley's band, wanted to discuss how much money they should get for their songs with Chris Blackwell, the head of Island Records, while they were in London. Instead of simply discussing money, they received an offer. Chris Blackwell handed them £4,000 up front to record an album. Chris Blackwell believed Bob Marley might appeal to a rock audience. He thought Bob had the rebellious image that might make Jamaican music famous among rock enthusiasts. "I was dealing with rock music, which was really rebel music," Blackwell explained. "That seemed to me to be the best approach to breaking Jamaican music." However, he required someone who could embody that image. When Bob walked in, he was exactly that image. The Wailers returned to Jamaica to record Catch a Fire at Harry J's studio in Kingston. This was significant because for the first time, a reggae band like rock bands got access to a top-tier studio. The album's sound was distinct from standard reggae. Blackwell sought to create a more mesmerizing atmosphere than the typical reggae rhythm. As a result, he altered some of Marley's mixes and arrangements. Marley even traveled to London to ensure that everything was going as planned. On April 1973, Catch a Fire was released globally. It was designed to seem like a rock record and had a customized Zippo lighter lift top. People adored it. Even though it barely sold 14,000 copies at first, its distinct sound was lauded by critics. Later that year, they issued another album, Burnin', which included the well-known song I Shot the Sheriff. The CD was given to Eric Clapton by his musician friend George Terry. Clapton was so taken with it that he recorded a cover of I Shot the Sheriff, which became a smash hit in the United States in 1974. Although not everyone in Jamaica was happy with the new sound on Catch a Fire, the following album, Burnin', featured a style that fans of both reggae and rock appreciated. Chris Blackwell did something incredible for Bob Marley at this time. He gave him a home in Kingston, which he turned into the headquarters for Marley's new firm, Tough Gong Studios. The Wailers planned to open 17 performances in the United States, but then something strange happened. They were sacked after only 4 shows. The Wailers, on the other hand, received more attention and adoration from the audience than the key groups they were scheduled to open for. The Wailers disbanded in 1974 as a result of this unexpected turn of events. Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh each chose to go their separate ways and seek solo careers. It was the end of an era, but it was also the start of new chapters for these legendary musicians. Shooting incident. After the Wailers disbanded, Bob Marley continued to make music with a new group called Bob Marley and the Wailers. Brothers Carlton and Aston "Family Man" Barrett played drums and bass. Junior Marvin and Al Anderson rocked the lead guitars, and Tyrone Downey and Earl Waya Lindo handled the keyboards. On percussion, Alvin Seco Patterson added some extra rhythms, not to mention the incredible background vocals provided by the I-3s, Judy Mowat, Marcia Griffiths, and Bob Marley's wife, Rita. Something significant happened to Bob Marley in 1975. Outside of Jamaica, he had his first hit with a live version of No Woman, No Cry. This song was included on the Live album and marked a watershed moment for Marley, introducing his music to a global audience. Following this success, he released Rastaman Vibration in 1976, which reached the top 50 on the Billboard Soul charts in the United States. Let us now discuss an important event in Bob Marley's life, which occurred on December 3, 1976, just 2 days before a major concert named Smile Jamaica.
Went right through? But just skimmed
No,
it?
I'm said lodge inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jamaican Prime Minister, Michael Manley, organized this performance to alleviate tensions between 2 political groupings. This day, instead of smiles, brought danger and commotion to Marley's doorway. Unidentified gunmen raided Bob Marley's home, injuring him, his wife Rita, and his manager Don Taylor. It was a terrifying situation, and everyone thought that this would be the day Bob Marley died. However, he escaped death with only minor injuries to his chest and arm. Many people thought the incident was politically motivated. The performance, Smile Jamaica, was considered by some as more of a rally for Prime Minister Manley than a music event. Despite the danger and assassination attempt, Bob Marley opted to continue with the show. 2 days later, in front of an estimated 80,000 people, he ascended the stage with members of Zap Pow as his backup band. The truth is that the founding members of the Wailers were either missing or in in hiding at the time. So, in an audacious move, members of Zap Pow came to Bob Marley's aid. It was a difficult moment, but the show went on. Bob Marley's tenacity and drive shone through as he performed, injured but undaunted, giving a tremendous message of strength and solidarity. Despite the adversity, the Smile Jamaica event became a symbol of resistance and defiance against those who wanted to stifle reggae's voice.
Little darling, steer it up.
It was a turning point in Bob Marley's life when his music and message became more than just entertainment, but also a force for change and unity. Bob Marley's journey continued with ups and downs, but his dedication to spreading the message of love, peace, and unity via reggae music was unshakable. Moving to England. Bob Marley left his native Jamaica in late 1976. He traveled to England after spending a month resting and writing at Compass Point Studios in Nassau, Bahamas. Marley lived in self-imposed exile for 2 years, a period of seclusion and inspiration. Bob Marley did not spend his time in England lounging around. He was preoccupied with music. He released 2 important albums, Exodus and Kaya. Exodus was a smash hit, spending 56 weeks on the British album charts. It included 4 UK chart-topping singles, Exodus, Waiting in Vain, Jamming, and One Love, which sampled Curtis Mayfield's classic People Get Ready. But Marley's time in England was not without incident. He ran into legal difficulties in 1977. He was arrested and sentenced for possessing a tiny amount of illegal substance. Despite this setback, Marley's music remained a strong force for change and unity. Bob Marley returned to Jamaica in 1978 to play at the One Love Peace Concert. This wasn't simply another show. It was an attempt to promote peace among the country's warring political forces. In an extraordinary moment, Marley invited the competing political party leaders, Michael Manley and Edward Saega, to join him on stage and shake hands. It was a strong gesture for Jamaican unity and peace. Marley released Survival, an album with a strong political theme, in 1979. Songs like Zimbabwe, Africa Unite, Wake Up and Live, and Survival highlighted Marley's support for Africans' plight. His commitment to combating oppression and injustice was evident not only in his words, but also in his actions. Bob Marley was a vocal opponent of apartheid in South Africa, as seen by his song War in 1976. His anti-apartheid stance remained strong, and on July 1979 he played at the Amandla Festival in Boston, expressing solidarity with the anti-apartheid campaign. Marley's final studio album, Uprising, was published as the 1980s approached. Marley's spiritual side was highlighted in this album, which has religious connotations. It was a suitable and strong finish to his studio discography. He was invited to perform at Zimbabwe's Independence Day celebrations on April 17, 1980.
It's been a long steer it together.
In today's subscriber pick, we will shed light on a very critical matter that revolved around Bob Marley. As a Rastafarian, Marley was a staunch supporter of the legalization of some illegal substances, or ganja, as Rastafarians lovingly refer to it. It is regarded as a sacrament in the Rastafari faith, facilitating a greater relationship with the divine. Marley's embracing it was a spiritual commitment ingrained in his religious path, not a recreational choice. His Rastafari initiation in 1966 marked the start of his Rastafarian path, which he saw as a conduit for self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment. Marley's association with this faith was not without legal snags. He was arrested for possession in 1968, a tribute to his uncompromising dedication to his religious views. In explaining, Marley stated, "When you smoke herb, herb reveals itself to you." For him, the herb was more than just a plant. It was a conduit for introspection, a way for one's conscience to be manifested. Beyond the personal, Marley saw marijuana as an essential component in an individual's religious and philosophical development. He saw it as a natural organism, similar to a tree, and saw it as a means to meditation, wisdom, and a deep relationship with Jah, the divine force cherished in Rastafari. Bob Marley's devotion to Rastafari extended beyond personal spirituality to a broader vision of Pan-Africanism and the global oneness of African people. Marley's music mirrored anti-imperialist and Pan-Africanist sentiments and was heavily influenced by the teachings of Marcus Garvey, a renowned Pan-Africanist leader. However, the day Bob Marley died was a great setback for all Africans, as his lyrics had become a vehicle for unified Africa's dreams, and his melodies became the heartbeat of a movement campaigning for the rights and recognition of African people worldwide. Wife and children. On February 10, 1966, Bob Marley and Rita married in Kingston, Jamaica. Rita gave birth to 3 children, and Bob affectionately adopted 2 more from Rita's previous relationships, giving them the Marley surname. The Bob Marley official website recognizes 11 children from various partnerships. Rita was a founding member of the Solettes.
When I was performing with Bob Marley, as a background singer with the I3s.
A musical group she created with her cousins Constantine Walker and Marlene Gifford before becoming Mrs. Marley. The Moulettes recorded rock-steady songs such as Time for Everything and A Dépend Dem. They also recorded songs with the Wailers, including Friends and Lovers, One More Chance, and That Ain't Right. There was also a special duet by Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer called Bless You, which was eventually included on the Lovers and Friends album. Rita Marley took an unusual action to safeguard Bob Marley's legacy in 1986. She converted their home into the Bob Marley Museum, giving fans and admirers an insight into the reggae legend's life. Rita's contributions, however, did not end there. She was the founder and chairperson of the Bob Marley Foundation, the Bob Marley Trust, and the Bob Marley Group of companies. Rita Marley established the Rita Marley Foundation, a non-governmental organization with a huge heart, in the year 2000. It is a non-profit, non-partisan organization that works to reduce poverty and hunger in underdeveloped nations, with a particular emphasis on the elderly and youth. The charity has been a ray of hope, awarding countless scholarships to Ghanaian music students.
Continent of Africa. Joining us this morning, it's our honor to have Rita Marley with us, the widow of reggae icon Bob Marley.
Every year, it hosts the Africa Unité concerts, which aim to increase worldwide awareness about African concerns and to find long-term solutions. Rita Marley's desire to make a difference stretches to Ethiopia, where she adopted 35 children, and Ghana, where she helped over 200 children at the Konkanuru Methodist School. Her work has touched innumerable people, and she continues to cultivate seeds of change and hope through the Rita Marley Foundation. Rita Marley was awarded the Order of Distinction by the Jamaican government in 1996 in recognition of her outstanding contributions to Jamaican music and culture. Her quest for greatness was rewarded in 2010 when she received the prestigious Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award. Rita Marley was loved and respected well beyond her own Jamaica. The Ghanaian government proclaimed her an honorary citizen of Ghana on August 3, 2013, in recognition of her years of residency and significant contributions to the country. Rita's influence extended beyond the classroom. The University of the West Indies conferred on her an honorary Doctor of Letters degree in November 2015. In 2017, she was awarded a second honorary doctorate by the University of Fort Hare in South Africa. Football. Football was more than simply a pastime for Bob Marley. It was a way of life for him. Football was everywhere, from parking lots and fields to kicking the ball around inside recording studios. Marley was a lifelong supporter of the Brazilian team Santos, particularly their star player Pelé. His passion for football stretched beyond national boundaries, as he was a fan of the English football club Tottenham Hotspur. Marley's affinity to the game grew stronger when Argentine midfielder Ossie Ardiles joined Tottenham Hotspur in 1978, becoming another player dear to Marley. Imagine Marley, complete with his signature dreadlocks, kicking a football around in parking lots and fields.
You know, Christ say would return within 2,000 years. No.
It wasn't simply a game for him. It was a means for him to connect with others and have fun. The joy that football brought to Marley's world was echoed by the sound of laughter and the thud of the ball against the pavement. However, Marley's engagement in football was not restricted to informal games. He surrounded himself with others who shared his enthusiasm for the game. He hired Jamaican international footballer Alan Skill Cole as his tour manager in the 1970s. This relocation highlighted the importance of football in Marley's life. He desired teammates both on and off the pitch. Marley allegedly told a journalist, "If you want to get to know me, you will have to play football against me in the Wailers." This statement speaks volumes about the importance football played in Marley's formation of ties and bonds. It wasn't simply a game. It was a bridge that connected him with others, a common language that cut beyond cultural and linguistic boundaries. Imagine the Wailers and Bob Marley playing casual football matches, the shared laughter and the togetherness on the pitch. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about having fun together while playing the game. Through the sport he loved, Marley found a unique way to bring people together.
You don't die and go to heaven, you have to live. And heaven.
Football was more than simply a recreational activity for Marley. It was a source of inspiration and companionship. The pitch became a place where differences dissolved and unity reigned supreme. Football was a constant companion in Marley's journey, whether it was during recording sessions or tour breaks. His football teams and players represented his broad influences and global perspective. Marley's heart was connected to the pulse of football. From the sunny fields of Brazil to the vibrant stadiums of England, Pele's mesmerizing skills, Tottenham Hotspur's ferocious clashes, and the arrival of Aussie Ardeals all added to Marley's passion for the game. Illness and demise. Bob Marley faced a serious health threat on July 1977. Malignant melanoma was detected under his right toe. As some may have heard, this was not the consequence of a football injury, but rather a sign of an existing cancer. Before a biopsy confirmed the diagnosis of acral lentiginous melanoma, Bob Marley had to contact 2 doctors. Unlike most melanomas, which occur on sun-exposed skin, this variety was found in inconspicuous locations, such as the soles of the feet or under toenails. Doctors advised amputating Marley's toe to stop the cancer from spreading, a decision that would surely have an impact on his acting career. However, Marley refused the amputation because of his religious views. He chose a less intrusive procedure, removing the nail and nail bed while grafting skin from his thigh to cover the afflicted area. Despite his deteriorating health, Marley continued to travel and even planned a world tour for 1980. In May 1980, while battling his life-threatening illness, Marley released the album Uprising. The band's following tour brought them across Europe, ending in a spectacular show at Milan's San Siro Stadium, attended by 100,000 people. The success of the European tour brought Marley to the United States, where he played as part of the Uprising tour at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Unfortunately, Marley's health deteriorated while he was in the United States. He fainted while jogging in Central Park, prompting a hospital visit that found the cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver. Undaunted, Marley gave his final concert on September 23, 1980, at the Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Photos from this final performance have been preserved in Kevin MacDonald's documentary film, Marley. Following the concert, Marley's health deteriorated more as cancer tightened its grip. The remainder of Marley's tour dates were canceled, and he sought alternative therapy at Josef Issel's clinic in Germany. Dietary restrictions and lifestyle adjustments were part of Issel's treatment. Despite 8 months of attempts,
We can make it work! We just can make it work!
the medication was unable to effectively combat the cancer's progression. Marley boarded a plane bound for Jamaica in a frail state. During the flight, his health deteriorated. Marley was transported to Cedars of Lebanon Hospital after landing in Miami, Florida. Bob Marley passed away on May 11, 1981, at the age of 36, from the spread of melanoma to his lungs and brain. His final words to his son Ziggy were amazing. "Take me up on your way up. Don't let me down on your way down." On May 21, 1981, Jamaica said farewell to its beloved son with a state funeral that blended aspects of Ethiopian Orthodoxy and Rastafari culture. Bob Marley was laid to rest near his birthplace at 9 Mile. His casket had emotional symbolism, including his crimson Gibson Les Paul guitar, a Bible open to Psalm 23, and a stalk. Awards and accolades. Bob Marley experienced a watershed moment in 1976 when Rolling Stone named his band the Band of the Year. This acclaim launched Marley and his reggae-infused beats into the international spotlight.
Every time! So we better get up, stand up for your rights!
However, this was only the beginning of a string of honors that would decorate the reggae legend's storied career. The United Nations awarded Marley the Peace Medal of the Third World in June 1978, recognizing not just his musical skill, but also his commitment to promoting messages of peace through his art. From Marley's guitar strings to the United Nations podium, a harmony tune resonated. In February 1981, Jamaica was awarded one of its highest honors on Marley, the Jamaican Order of Merit. This exemplified Marley's strong connection to his heritage, as he became a symbol of Jamaican pride and resilience. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame welcomed Bob Marley into its elite ranks on March 1994. This induction cemented Marley's place in the worldwide music landscape. recognizing him as a force that cut across genres and cultures. The millennium brought even more notoriety, as Time magazine named Marley's album Exodus the album of the century in 1991. Marley's songs, a timeless symphony that echoed through generations, earned him a place in musical history. As Hollywood immortalized stars on its Walk of Fame, Bob Marley received his own in February 2001, a lasting reminder of his global impact. The Grammy Awards bestowed upon him the Lifetime Achievement Award the following month, recognizing a lifetime commitment to creating music that stirred souls. Marley was among the first inductees into the UK Music Hall of Fame, which opened its doors in 2004. This was more than just a celebration of Marley's legacy in the Caribbean. It was also a celebration of the global resonance of his melodies. However, Marley's influence extended well beyond the Caribbean seas. The New York City Department of Education recognized him in 2006 by co-naming a section of Church Avenue in Brooklyn Bob Marley Boulevard. The streets of Brooklyn, a melting pot of cultures, paid tribute to the artist whose music brought people from all over the world together. Even in the heart of Eastern Europe, a statue of Marley was erected in Banatski Sokolac, Serbia, in 2008. This statue was more than simply a work of art. It represented how Marley's message crossed borders, connecting with souls across continents. Marley's legacy was heard in unexpected places around the world. The Hopi and Havasupai tribes in the United States found resonance in his art, proving how Marley's universal messages reached even the most remote corners of the globe. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.